Have you ever felt completely certain about someone, only to realize that he was never really certain about you? He texts consistently. He makes you feel seen. He talks about the future like you are building something together. But the moment you ask what this actually is, suddenly everything becomes complicated. And that is the confusing part. You did not imagine the connection. You did not read it wrong. And you definitely did not do something to cause this. What happened is that you were missing one important piece of information about how some men operate. And without it, even the smartest, most self-aware woman can waste months on someone who never truly planned to choose her. In this video, we are breaking down the exact psychology behind why this happens, and more importantly, how to make sure it never happens to you again. And stay until the end, because the last part changes everything. Not just how you see men, but how you see yourself. So let's dive into the male psychology behind all of this. There are usually two reasons a man pursues a woman: convenience or conviction. And from the outside, they can look almost identical. A man acting out of convenience enjoys the connection. He texts you. He makes plans. He is warm, attentive, affectionate, even present. But his effort is driven by what the relationship gives him now, not by a genuine desire to build something long-term. A man acting out of conviction may do all of those exact same things. The difference is that his actions have direction. He is not just enjoying the moment. He is moving toward something. And this is where so many women get confused. Because in the beginning, both experiences feel almost the same. The texts are just as frequent. The dates are just as good. The chemistry is just as real. And nobody teaches women what difference to actually look for. So here it is. Conviction shows up in consistency, in clarity, in small sacrifices, in a man who makes his intentions known without you having to constantly force the conversation. Convenience shows up as warmth without direction, a connection that feels deep, but never truly moves forward. A man who is fully there until the moment you ask for something more. And suddenly, he is confused. He needs space. He is not ready. He loves sitting by the fire, but disappears when it's time to carry the wood. That distinction alone can save you months, maybe years. Sign 1. The future promise pattern. Future faking is when a man uses tomorrow to access today. He talks about the trip you will take together, meeting his family, building a future. And it all feels real, because his excitement feels real. But if you pay attention, you start noticing something strange. The future he talks about never actually gets closer. The trip never gets booked. The plans never become concrete. The conversation always stays hypothetical. And this is where many women get trapped. Because emotionally, your brain already starts attaching to the future he described. You begin feeling chosen, safe, secure. But in reality, he is only using the idea of commitment to create emotional closeness in the present. His brain has found a shortcut. Talking about the future creates the feeling of commitment, without requiring the responsibility of it. And whether he is doing it consciously or unconsciously, the outcome is the same. You become more emotionally invested, while the relationship itself never truly moves forward. Because in the end, the only thing that truly matters is what he consistently does. And the brutal truth is, actions will always speak louder than words. Sign 2. The gray zone. The gray zone is the pattern many women mistake for fear of commitment. But very often, that is not what it actually is. A man who keeps everything vague is not always confused. Sometimes he is protecting his options. Because as long as nothing is clearly defined, he never fully has to choose. He gets the emotional benefits of a relationship without the responsibility of one. And here is the part almost nobody talks about. Ambiguity shifts the entire emotional burden onto you. You become the one who has to ask where things are going. You become the one bringing up the conversation. And the moment you do, suddenly you are moving too fast. You are creating pressure. You are asking for too much. But pay attention to what is really happening there. A man like this is not necessarily incapable of love. He is uncomfortable with what real commitment requires from him: accountability. emotional clarity. Commitment means closing the exit door, and some people are deeply uncomfortable doing that. So instead, they stay in the gray zone, half in, half out, giving just enough to keep the connection alive, but never enough to truly make it secure. And if you have felt that wall, you are not imagining it. But you are also not the reason it exists. Sign 3. The hot and cold trap. This is the pattern that explains why you cannot seem to walk away, even when part of you knows you should. Here is what's actually happening. When someone is warm one day and distant the next, your brain does not automatically register that as danger. Very often, it registers it as a reason to try harder. Because unpredictability does not weaken emotional attachment, it intensifies it. Psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered decades ago that something called intermittent reinforcement creates extremely persistent behavioral patterns. That is why slot machines are more addictive than guaranteed payouts. And emotionally, the hot and cold cycle works in a very similar way. The good moments feel so powerful precisely because they are unpredictable. Your brain keeps waiting for the next emotional reward, not because you are weak, not because you are naive, but because your brain is responding exactly the way human brains are wired to respond. And this is where many women get trapped. You replay the beautiful moments over and over again. The chemistry, the attention, the version of him that once felt so certain. You convince yourself that that version is the real one, and the distant version is just temporary. But when the pattern keeps repeating, the pattern is the truth. Consistency reveals character, not potential. And once you truly understand that, something shifts. You stop romanticizing the rare good moments and start paying attention to the overall emotional pattern instead. As soon as you see the mechanism clearly, it loses much of its power over you. Let's become unplayable. Here is the shift that changes everything. Most women enter dating asking one question: does he like me? And that question immediately puts you into a position of waiting, watching his behavior for clues, overanalyzing his attention, adjusting yourself to get a better answer. But the woman who cannot be played asks a different question: does he meet my standard? And that single shift changes the entire dynamic. You are no longer auditioning. You are observing. You stop trying to convince someone to choose you and start paying attention if he is actually capable of giving you what you need. You let people reveal themselves naturally, and when his behavior does not align with your standards, you believe what you see the first time. Because here is what many women learn too late. Being more understanding does not make someone more committed. Being more available does not make you more valuable. In fact, every time you tolerate behavior that violates your standards, you unintentionally teach people how little accountability is required to keep access to you. The women who get treated well are not always the most accommodating. Very often, they are simply the clearest about what they will and will not accept. Because these women stop dating potential, potential is not real. It is a fantasy about who someone could become if they changed enough. And real love is not built on hoping someone eventually becomes different. It is built on clarity, consistency, emotional safety. You deserve someone who shows up fully as they are, without leaving you in constant confusion about where you stand. You were never the problem. You were just missing the information. The woman who cannot be played is not colder, not harder, not emotionally unavailable. She is simply more honest with herself about what she is actually seeing. She stops translating someone's behavior into what she hopes it means, and starts accepting it for what it consistently is. And once you learn that difference, something changes. Because you stop chasing clarity from people who are committed to keeping things unclear. You stop falling in love with potential. And you start trusting patterns more than promises. You know the difference now. And once you see the pattern clearly, it stops having power over you.